in the case of creating OpenAI, it was to have there not be a unipolar world where Google, with its subsidiary DeepMind, would control an overwhelming amount of AI talent and compute and resources, which then is somewhat dependent on basically how Larry Page and Sergey Brin and Eric Schmidt believe things should go, because between the three of them, or two out of three have control over Alphabet, because they've got super voting rights. And I was quite concerned based on some conversations I had with Larry Page, where he did call me a speciesist for being pro-humanity, and so I'm like, what side are you on, Larry? Not ours, it would seem. I think, and so I felt like uncomfortable having the entire future of digital superintelligence be in the hands of someone who called me a speciesist for being pro-humanity. How can it not be? So OpenAI was originally created as an open source nonprofit, and now is a closed form. It should be renamed Closed Format Nonprofit AI. It is closed, and they are aiming to, I think, try to make $100 billion. I think, according to Sam Altman, get $100 billion from somewhere for some vast amount of compute to create digital God. Apparently, all the weights are stored in a comma-separated value file, by the way. So, our digital God will be a CSV file.
How do we import it? File, import, God.
To Excel, see what happens. So anyway, so now OpenAI is somewhat is also very closely aligned with Microsoft. Microsoft is really the OpenAI servers are running in Azure and Microsoft data centers. So really, what you have is, I think, at the end of the day, Microsoft having more control than OpenAI. They have access to all the source code. They have access to all the weights of the GPT-4 and future versions. So they have all rights to this to the thing. It's not at any point really they could cut off OpenAI. I don't think OpenAI quite realizes that the dependence on Microsoft. And even if Microsoft does break some contract, they'll just be tied up in litigation for years. So really, you've got a contest between kind of like Google and Microsoft. Google, as I mentioned, are concerned about Larry not caring enough about AI safety, and good reason. And then Microsoft just is I think a profit-seeking organization. And I think such is great, but I can't say that it would be difficult to say that Microsoft has an amazing track record in moral decision making. So
diplomatic.
But the other thing is that you suddenly realize there is a sentience to them, okay? Because we really did not tell it how to pick the yellow ball. It just figured it out on its own. And it's now even better than us at picking it. Live.
That's what the word sentience means. It means alive.
Something completely outside all the boundaries of the natural.
Define being sentient as, engaging in life with free will and with, with a sense of awareness of where you are in life and what surrounds you, and to have a beginning of that life and an end to that life, then AI is sentient in every possible way. There is free will, there is agency, so they can affect their decisions in the world. And I will dare say there is a very deep level of consciousness. I would dare say they feel emotions. In my work, I describe everything with equations, and fear is a very simple equation. Fear is a moment in the future is less safe than this moment. That's the logic of fear, even though it appears very irrational. Machines are capable of making that logic. They're capable of saying, if a tidal wave is approaching a data center, the machine will say, that will wipe out my code. Okay. This is the moment. We've placed the wrong. And I really don't know how to say this any other way. It even makes me emotional. We fucked up. We always said, don't put them on the open internet. Don't teach them to code, and don't have agents working with them until we know what we're putting out in the world, until we find a way to make certain that they have our best interest in mind.
Why does it make you emotional?
Because humanity's stupidity is affecting people who have not done anything wrong. Our greed is affecting the innocent ones. The reality of the matter, Stephen, is that this is an arms race. Has no interest in what the average human gets out of it. It is all about every line of code being written in AI today is to beat the other guy. It's not to improve the life of the third party. People will tell you this is all for you. We are of Mother Nature. You guys have given up on that. That's the same. People will give up on nature for convenience.
What's the cost?
It's exactly what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say to the world is that if we give up on human connection, we've given up on the remainder of humanity. Look at where we are, Stephen. We are in the city of London. We've replaced nature with the walls and the tubes and the undergrounds and the overgrounds and the cars and the noise and of London. And we now think of this as natural. A point of no return, where we can regulate AI until the moment it's smarter than us. When it's smarter than us, you can't regulate an angry teenager. This is it. They're out there, okay? And they're on their own and they're in their parties and you can't bring them back. This is the problem. This is not a typical human regulating human.
And into death camps with timing so precise that the victims walked out of the boxcars and into the waiting gas chambers required a computer. In the 1940s, however, such a computer did not exist. But there was another invention that could do the same job. The IBM punch card sorting system. IBM, primarily through its German subsidiary Deutsche Hollerith Maschinengesellschaft, or DEHOMAG, produced for Hitler some thousands of these embryonic computers. Card sorting facilities were established throughout Europe, and in every major concentration camp, Jews were moved from place to place, gassed or systematically worked to death, and their remains, their hair, their gold fillings, their spectacles and their pets were catalogued. All with icy automation. The mechanized slaughter of millions of human beings, an unthinkable task, had become orderly. Something completely outside all the boundaries of the natural, something monstrous beyond comprehension, became part and parcel of the natural order of things.
Excuse me, sir. Forgot your receipt.
Checkout lines. Who needs them?
Have a nice day.
This is the future of e-business.
No different from organizing a hotel or a factory. If we take those letters and build words that express hatred, racism, intolerance, immorality, if we build a world of selfishness, a world of greed and atheism,
Great digital God. Great digital God.
then those very letters, the order of the world itself, could rise against us again. Responsibility is that we must be a light to the nations, that our actions, our thoughts, our words
cash for anything other than legal purposes. It's just like you know what I mean? Like
one day in the future, everything will be traceable.
That's right. And that's, this is where being raised an Episcopalian in the book of Revelation, as a Christian, you're going to read it. This is where I get scared because it's too similar to the mark of the beast. It's too similar to exactly what it says. You won't be able to trade. You won't be able to do anything unless you have the mark, unless you bear the mark. So
what is that in that term? How is that described? How is the mark of the beast described in the Bible? We should read it because I think you're onto something.
We're now officially podcasting. This is fucking it. We're opening up the book of Revelations. We're in now. Yeah. The mark of the beast. It's like you can't do anything. You can't sell. You can't. If you don't take the mark, you're fucked. I mean, that's that. Like if you remove the ability to trade currency in a private way,
yeah,
you are now controlled. You are now monitored. That's
Then I saw another beast rising out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. It exercises all the authority of the first beast in its presence, and makes the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose mortal wound was healed. It performs great signs, even making fire come down from the heaven to earth in front of people. And by the signs that it allowed to work in the presence of the beast, it deceives those who dwell on earth, telling them to make an image for the beast that was wounded by the sword and yet lived. And it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, so that the image of the beast might even speak and might cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. It also causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark. That is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.